Two guys decide to quit smoking on the same Monday. Same age, same job, same 10-year habit. The first one wakes up, throws the pack in the trash, posts about it, tells everyone he's done. He downloads a tracking app, buys nicotine gum, white knuckles through the day. By Thursday, he's snapping at coworkers. By Saturday, he's negotiating. Just one. Sunday night, he's back outside, lighter in hand, telling himself he'll try again next month. The second guy doesn't announce anything, doesn't throw the pack away either. He does something quieter, smaller. 30 days later, one of them still smokes. The other doesn't. That gap didn't show up on day one. It showed up in the structure. Look, most people attack a bad habit like it's a moral failure. They go hard. All or nothing. Massive willpower. Big emotional speeches in the mirror. It feels powerful for about 72 hours. Then reality hits. You wake up on day 3 and your brain wants what it's used to. You resist. Day 4, you're tired from work. You resist again. Day 5, something stressful happens. You're not just fighting the habit now, you're fighting yourself. And you're doing it every hour. That's the mistake. Constant resistance. There's a study by Roy Baumeister on willpower depletion. People who kept exerting self-control on small tasks performed worse on later ones. Not because they were weak, because willpower drains. You can debate the replication stuff, sure, but practically, you feel it. Decision fatigue is real in your life, even if the lab arguments are messy. So what happens? You try to quit sugar. Day 1, you say no to dessert. Day 2, no soda. Day 3, no snacks. By day 6, you're staring into the fridge at 11:30 p.m. thinking, why am I even doing this? It seemed reasonable. Cut it out completely. Be strong. That's how disciplined people act. Actually, that's not quite right. That's how dramatic people act. Discipline is usually quieter than that. The default method fails because it treats the habit as the enemy. It ignores the system around it. Day by day, here's how it collapses. Week 1. Motivation carries you. You're riding emotion. You feel different, so you act different. Week 2. Emotion fades. Now it's friction. Every trigger is still there. Same friends, same stress, same time of night. You're just trying to overpower it. Week 3. Your brain starts bargaining. You've been good. 1 won't matter. It sounds logical because you're tired. Week 4 never really happens. You restart before you get there. Now watch what happens when you flip it. Instead of attacking the habit directly, you redesign the environment and shrink the battlefield. In Japan, there's a concept called Kaizen, continuous, small improvement, tiny adjustments, no drama. You don't try to leap across the canyon. You move the ground under your feet a few inches at a time. Breaking a habit in 30 days works the same way. Day 1 is not about quitting, it's about mapping. You write down exactly when the habit happens. Time, location, emotional state, what happened right before. No judgment, just data. Sounds simple. It is. Doesn't mean it's easy. Most people skip this because they already know their triggers. No, you don't. Not precisely. And precision matters. Interesting thing about this, when researchers at MIT studied habit loops, they found cues are often more consistent than the behavior itself. The cue drives the routine. Change the cue, you weaken the loop. So week 1, you don't remove the habit. You disrupt the cue. If you scroll social media in bed, your phone stops charging next to your pillow. It goes across the room. If you snack at 10 p.m., you brush your teeth at 9:30. If you smoke after lunch, you change where you eat lunch. You're not using willpower. You're removing friction in the opposite direction. Week 2, you replace. Not eliminate, replace. If you just cut something out, there's a vacuum. Vacuums get filled. This is where most people mess up. They remove the behavior and offer nothing in return. So the brain goes hunting. Let me put that differently. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about patterns and rewards. So you keep the reward, change the routine. If the reward of smoking is a break from work, you still take the break. You just walk. If the reward of junk food is comfort, you still create comfort. Tea, shower, music. If the reward of scrolling is distraction, you give yourself a 5-minute physical reset instead. It feels almost stupid at first. Too small, too soft, good. Week 3 is constraint. This is where it tightens. You limit exposure aggressively. Not forever, 30 days. You don't go to the bar if you're quitting drinking. You don't just hang out in the bakery if sugar is the issue. You don't test yourself. Look, this part matters. Stop proving how strong you are.
Strength isn't walking past temptation every day. Strength is not needing to.
There's a piece of this I'm still figuring out, honestly. Some people can moderate, some can't. I've seen both. What I do know is that during these 30 days, you act like you can't. You design for weakness. Week 4 is identity. Up until now, it's structural. Environment, replacement, constraint. Now you start speaking differently. Not publicly, internally. Not, I'm trying to quit smoking. It's, I don't smoke. Not, I'm cutting back on sugar. It's, I don't eat that. It feels fake the first few times. Your brain resists it. That's fine. There's research from James Clear, well, he references it a lot, about identity-based habits. Behavior sticks when it aligns with who you believe you are. I'm glossing over some nuance here, but the principle holds. Identity stabilizes action. So for 30 days, you collect proof, small wins, clean days. You stack them. You don't celebrate wildly, you just log them. And when you slip, because you might, you don't reset to 0 in your head. You correct the next hour. Not tomorrow, now. This is where the two guys from the beginning separate. The first guy treated quitting like a war. Every day was a fight. He got tired. The second guy treated it like construction. Move this, remove that, replace this, tighten here, reinforce there. 30 days later, the habit doesn't disappear magically. That's not how this works. It weakens. The cues are different. The environment supports him. His identity has shifted a few degrees. Small degrees compound. Side note, this reminds me of how Japanese companies improved manufacturing after World War II. They didn't rebuild everything overnight. They refined processes daily. Anyway, back to this. Most people choose the dramatic path because it feels decisive. It feels honorable. You suffer, so it must be working. It's not stupidity, it's psychology. Intensity gives immediate emotional reward. Structure gives delayed stability, and we're wired for the immediate. When you declare war on a habit, you get applause. You feel powerful. When you quietly move your phone charger across the room, no one claps. It feels insignificant. That's why the loud approach is popular. It's visible. The quiet one works. Listen, breaking a bad habit in 30 days isn't about heroics. It's about reducing the number of decisions you have to make. It's about shaping the environment so the right action is easier than the wrong one. It's about accepting that you're human and designing around that instead of pretending you're above it. You already know this, on some level. You've tried the dramatic version. It burned out. The question isn't whether this method makes sense. It probably does. The question is whether you'll actually do the boring parts, the mapping, the replacement, the constraints no one sees. Because if you don't, you'll end up like the first guy, fired up on Monday, negotiating by Friday. No judgment, just pattern. 30 days from now, you'll either have a weakened habit and a stronger structure, or another restart date in your notes app. Up to you.